how to create a brush in Affinity Photo. But instead of just creating it within Affinity Photo, what you can do, you can also use another application. Because one thing that I think that Affinity Photo is not particularly great at, and that's sort of brush strokes. So I'm going to use this one, which I really love, Rebelle 7. It's a reasonably priced program. I really love it. And it has got like an infinite amount of brush strokes and tools to create brushes and designs. And it's, for me, the best. So let's just quickly delete this layer and just go down there and remove it. Now I can create another design very quickly, and you've got a range of brushes. You've got things like oils, so just going to go with that. And let's apply a very quick brush stroke. And literally all kinds of different designs can be created. Maybe a little like Z design or something like that. Something very basic, but of course there's literally infinite amount of brushes here, and you can manipulate them using the brush creator in countless ways, far beyond anything that can be done in Affinity Photo. So with that, now with this, you can just go over here and you can see it's just a layer. And that design can be copied very quickly. Simply go to Edit and Copy, or to use the shortcuts. So Edit and Copy, then go to Affinity Photo. Now I've got a layer already there, so let's just remove that. And now what you can do, simply, again, edit and paste. Obviously, again, you could use the shortcuts. I'm just, purposes of this video, I'm just showing you it via the edit and paste command. And you can see it there pasted in. Now you can manipulate it further, of course. It's just a layer with now in Affinity Photo. And you can distort it, modify it, maybe go to filters, apply various things. However, you'll notice one thing. This is disabled. There's a reason for that. Because if you go here to Window and Layers, and now probably hidden somewhere, yes, there is Layers, you'll notice here it says Image. Now Image, unfortunately, if you go to the brushes and you go right side, just go there and you can find that in the Window menu. Just go down the bottom. New brush from selection is not available. You think, well, that's not much use. I can't use it then. What you need to do, just go to Layer and down here to Rasterize. So once you've done that, it's a pixel layer. Now if you go over here, you can just go over here, right side menu, new brush from selection, and you can add it, and you can see it's added there. But again, you can now use filter and use some of these ones like deform. Let's just quickly apply deform. You can just distort it. Of course, use many other things, maybe make a couple of combinations of it, maybe duplicate it a few times. Create all kinds of unique designs. You've got that source material which you can then manipulate and create some really extreme designs, which can then, let's squeeze this in a bit, squeeze that in, just to create a nice distorted design, and then click apply. So I'm just going to go in with 100%, and also I'm going with rigid. But you could use, of course, any of the other distorted filters, or maybe some of the other effects. So click apply. Exactly the same as before. Just go here to the brushes, and you can save it. So go down here, new brush from selection. So once it's saved there, you can see it in there. Well, now you can use it. So let's just go here, and I'm going to go this one first. So double click, and you've got this. Doesn't look very promising at the moment, but one thing I like is sort of color randomization, and you can do that via dynamics. So I'm just going to change the spacing. Also, I like just to decrease the size. I'm quite happy with about 400, 500, but of course you can make one that's 2000 or so. Just happens to be very slow then. And also you can add some rotation, maybe try different angles. And also, of course, could name it slightly better than that. Also, some of these other settings as well you can set. But dynamics, that's my favourite one. And you can say size jitter or rotation jitter. So you might just create one that sort of spins around depending on random or pressure, etc. Also, hue jitter. And you can see then, instead of just red or whatever colour, you're going to get a whole range of different colours here. Also, saturation jitter, which I quite like. Now, I don't like luminosity jitter because that seems to always push it to sort of more black sort of design, which I don't particularly like. So I prefer just to keep that down to 0 and close. And now I can apply it. Let's just go here to the paintbrush and make certain paintbrush tool that you actually select it, selected there, and now apply it. And you can see now you've got your paintbrush, and you can apply it, see, in countless ways. You can create something like that, or maybe just create it. Let's just go and change it. You can always change it. Maybe go back to general, change the spacing again so it's really crunched in. Maybe reduce the hue jitter. Maybe just keep it like that so it's more green blues, and create something like that. But also what you can do is it's a layer, and as a layer you can turn it into a pattern design. So go here, layer, and new pattern layer from selection. And you can see then you can resize that. Of course, it's still got the previous layer as well. It's still there. You can always, of course, go back to that and edit it more. But also you can go up here to mirror. And also what you can do is go back to the paintbrush, and you can still continue to apply your paintbrush. Maybe change the size. That's why I say sometimes it's nice to have a smaller brush stroke and then just apply it like that. And again, double click there. Makes it just double click that one, not the other one. You can then push that up again and click close, and you can see, create that sort of design, and so on. Now, another thing you can do is, let's just go to the other one. So this one, double click that one. You can see again, you've got that. Again, you can change the various settings. You can space in, size. You can also go dynamics. Again, hue jitter you want, so you can see the time there. Also, rotation jitter as well. And you can apply that. Again, go to the paintbrush. No point. Select that. Sometimes it just doesn't want to select that tool. There it is. And you can see you've got that design. Now it's a layer. And as a layer, what you can do, you can always go to effects. So click there, and you can go to, say, 3D. So you can add a 3D effect to it. Maybe change the profile. So you can just create all kinds of different designs, and maybe go for, click there, radius, offset and intensity, close, to create a sort of shadow design. Also, it's just a layer, so you can hold down the Alt or Option key and just duplicate that design. Maybe resize it and create multiple copies from that, and so on. Build up all kinds of imagery very quickly. Now you can also, let's just go back now to Rebelle. Like I say, Rebelle is literally infinite amount of different designs. One thing that's annoying is it doesn't delete layers in the same way. You can't just delete it. Just go over here, remove layer. Let's go and select another one. You've got watercolours, you've got inks, so maybe let's go for watercolour. So watercolour, and just apply a design, all kinds of different. Maybe create an image. Don't have to, let's just delete that again. Just apply it. Maybe just create a quick face, whatever, quick design like that, anything. It doesn't have to be, obviously, you could spend a lot of time just creating a very, very nice image, but something very quick. So you've got that. With that, you can also, of course, transform it. You can also click OK, again, copy it. So edit, copy, then over to Affinity Photo, then edit and paste. And you've got your design there. And you can then, now one thing about this, with the watercolour in Rebelle, you'll notice you can actually apply different effects to it as well. So you can create lovely dripping. It is amazing. It's one of those great applications that's got some really beautiful. Now, of course, as soon as you put it into Affinity Photo, you've lost that feature. It's just as it was at that point. But you can see you've got this lovely watercolour design. And obviously you could create all kinds of designs. It doesn't have to be like this. But also what you can do, you can always click to effects. So just click there, go to outer shadow, and then 3. Now you'll notice something that's slightly odd about this. Again, does seem to have a bit of a problem with this 3D effect. Sometimes I've found odd errors with it. Again, probably best to actually let's undo that now because it's still an image. So as an image, what you need to do, go to Layer and Rasterize. Then go to Effects, then click 3D. I must admit, sometimes I've actually seen it sometimes doesn't seem to work particularly well with images. I don't know why. There just seem to be odd things. So I prefer to make certain it's a pixel layer before I use it, but you might find no problem with it. And also outer shadow again. And it's sometimes a bit fiddly, especially if you do profiles. You have to quickly go and see profiles. You will get some, maybe change that. Yeah, just sometimes I've pushed it, maybe the radius too high. No, it doesn't seem to want to give much of a depth there. Very strange. Anyway, you can do that. does most of the time work to give a three-dimensional effect. Well, with that three-dimensional effect, you can see when you move it like that. You can also, again, exact same before, go to the brushes, right side, and new brush from selection. And you can save that. So now you've got that design. Or, again, you can always create multiple copies of it. So hold that down, and you can see you can build up, obviously, a very quick design like that. Maybe change the colours of those. Because, of course, you can always go to Layer, New Adjustments, maybe go for, let's just go for HSL. HSL, and then just change colour. Changing all of them, I don't want that. Makes sense, you go to the layer, just drag that down, and you just change one. You might want to change the colour of the design, just slightly. They don't have to all be the same. Again, you can select them all the pixel layers. So select that one, and select there, hold down the shift, all selected, and then go to layer, and merge visible. Or use merge selected, of course. Just delete those now, don't want those. So you've got this design, and again, you can still go to effects, maybe tweak that. So 3D, just change that again, and add shadow, and close, and so on. Again, brushes, right side menu, new brush from selection, and you've got that added there. Again, double click, and you can see now you've got that three-dimensional brush. I think far better than doing 3D later. So with that, just go here, and you can change the spacing. Go for rotation, again, you can vary that. Maybe go with dynamics. Again, rotation jitter. Hue jitter, and you can see you can build up a lovely red, green, blue, etc. image. Saturation jitter, and close. Just remove that one. And again, make sure you go to paintbrush tool, and apply it. Now, because it's a big brush, it just takes a few seconds to process. It's a bit slower. And you can see you can build up all kinds of designs, which of course let's just fill the whole thing. You can see down the bottom, haven't filled that particularly well. And you can see you've got that. Once you've got it, of course, you can use other things with it. I always like, when I do this sort of design, I think, you know what? I prefer to distort it slightly. There's just bits of it I like to distort. So make certain the pixel layer is selected. Go to Filters, Distort, maybe Deform. Just add some pins and then just distort the image. One of the ones I really like is Similarity. So just go for Similarity for the constraints and then select that. Always make certain you select the Move tool. I do not know why, but it doesn't go back to that. It was using the brush. With the brush, you can't seem to use that panel. It's the same with other panels as well. Very strange feature. One feature that really slightly bugs me in Affinity Photo. So again, Filters, Distort and Deform. Now you can add the pins, but you can't do it with the brush tool. Very strange feature. I don't know why that bug, and as far as I'm concerned, it is a bug. And you can see, I think Similarity is much nicer. You can create some really weird and wonderful distortions from your brush strokes. You can create these lovely sort of like zoom effects and distortions around. Now, I'd love another feature I'd love to see in this would be not circular distortions, because you can see here when you're distorting that, you can see it's got a circular like feel to the distortion, obviously applying some sort of distortion in that way. It'd be great if it came up with a few more algorithms or something, maybe like a square design or zigzag designs, or maybe a fractal design or some sort of ripple design. I don't know, but other designs other than this sort of distortion. That would be brilliant. Don't know why it's not available in here. It's obviously, there's not much in this panel. You think they could add some additional features and maybe apply different strengths from different pins. That would be nice. So you could distort it, but not all of them applied with that master. So obviously one would be 100%, one might be only 5%. Anyway, just a few quibbles about that. I love the deform filter. I think the deform filter is a really powerful tool, but there's so many things I would love to see added into it. And once you've done that, go to filters, and you can always, of course, do repeat deform. I always love to do that just to see what it creates, because sometimes a secondary apply creates some really weird and wonderful designs, which of course you can use this design as well to create additional brush strokes. Also, once you've done this, think perhaps go to filters, colors, and maybe go to auto levels and just tweak it slightly just to brighten it up. And I think that looks a bit nicer than before. And that's just a run through of how to create brushes by using this, as well as using the brilliant, and I think brilliant, Rebelle 7. It's one of the best applications for brushstrokes around. It's got loads of great features. You've got inks, pencils, and loads and loads of different brushes. And it's just a brilliant, brilliant tool. Unfortunately, it doesn't have many filters. You've got a few filters, but the combination of Rebelle and Affinity Photo, I think, is a brilliant one. Hope you found this of interest. Any questions? And do you use Rebelle and Affinity? Or maybe obviously other applications are around as well. Perfectly reasonable. But this certainly for me is a combination I really like. And I would love to see the applications work even better together. A like or dislike, always appreciated. Also, please subscribe. Always adding new videos about both these applications, as well as, of course, Photoshop and other applications as well. Bye.